So good morning, good evening, and good afternoon for people who are joined for this wonderful session. Thank you, Richard, for being here to talk about Vbout. In fact, Vbout has been making a lot of noise from Sumo Day. But because there was another competing product initially, I think at least it did not grab my attention. But then once I started seeing a lot of traction and a couple of demos that Richard gave in a couple of videos that I saw, I really found it very interesting, and immediately bought Vbout. And the program was very interesting. It's just not about Vbout, but it spoke about marketing and all those things and how mature this product is. So we thought that it would be nice if our group members and Alston's group members also know about this particular product, and requested Richard if he can do a session for us, and which he graciously agreed, and we are here today. As with all our Bring Again sessions, we'll take a use case and look at how the product would work in that particular scenario. I think we'll maintain the same thing. Please feel free to share your questions either on Run the World or in the couple of Facebook groups that we have gone live already. Over to you, Richard, all yours. And we will, whatever questions that come up, we will ask you again. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Venki, and thank you everyone for joining us today. I'm going to share my screen. I'm allowed, right?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. All right. Please let me know if you are seeing my presentation.
Yeah. We are able to see your presentation.
Wonderful. A quick question: is this going to be recorded for the community?
Yeah, we are going live. We have gone live.
So it will be on the Facebook group. Wonderful. Well, thanks everyone for joining us. Vbout has been getting some amazing feedback and traction through the app Sumo deal. It's been quite refreshing for us, 7 years in the making, to get that kind of brand awareness, visibility, and awesome feedback. First, I also want to just tell everybody who joined us today that we have giveaways, because we love feedback from you. What we're giving away: one LTD, a $3,000 course, and a $1,000 agent certification course for the community. So stay with us. The only thing required from you guys is to join our Facebook group. We'd love to have you in our community so we can keep in touch after this event. This is the link to it, and George will put it in the chat. George, please drop it for the community. And the second thing for the giveaway to apply to you is you need to leave us a comment sharing your thoughts about marketing automation, anything really, any idea. Just let us know that you're here and what are you looking to accomplish using Vbout, or if you're looking into using Vbout. Okay, so these are the two things required for you to be part of the giveaway. Again, join our Facebook group and leave us a comment in the chat. Okay, the chat is possible for everybody, right, Venki?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Quick overview of Vbout. It's always very challenging to include everything in a very short session because Vbout is a very robust stack, and I want to focus on the stack because it's not only one tool; it's different tools, and I'll explain in a second. But Vbout's core functionality is that it's a stack. It's a simple interface. We have an amazing price, obviously, as an LTD. You cannot beat that price. We're offering plans that are usually $12,000 at the tier 5, $12,000 a year, getting an lifetime access to it. So that's an amazing, amazing price. It will also provide premium support, human support, people who are there willing to help. So these are our core values in Vbout, and we've been quite successful over the years with our clients because of these 4 different pillars. Now, in terms of kind of the tools or the core tools that work together when it comes to the marketing stack, and I want to say marketing stack too, guys, because we're not a CRM and a sales stack. Although we have a self-CRM capability, we're not a sales stack at core. We are a marketing stack at core. So what that means, we provide you the tools so you can generate leads like landing pages and forms and pop-ups. You can run all of these through Vbout. Once you've captured those leads, we provide lead tracking, automation, which is our flagship product, email campaigns, and even some social media listening and publishing. And to retain the clients, you can always do retargeting, lead scoring, pipeline management, and much more. We do integrate pretty well with some native integrations through our APIs. We have Zapier, Pabbly Connect launched recently. Connected Z just launched, and we are working with, I believe, Integrately and a few others. So we are really expanding our integration so we can play well with other platforms. Okay. How are we doing, Venki, so far? Is this flow good?
It's pretty good quality.
Okay. Awesome. Now, the product itself is very robust, as I mentioned. We do have daily training. We have a lot, but just to give you a general overview, what we have is a visual automation builder here. This is one of our flagship products. It allows you to execute multi-channel automations at scale, so you can create the logic for your business or your clients. Drag and drop them onto the screen, add your filters and conditions, and just let it run. Okay. Many people ask us, is this the same as Jiro, which is a visual kind of funnel building? No, we're not. We actually execute what you design, right? So Jiro is more on the visual side of things. Vbout takes it, implements it. The second question we get is, are you only email? No, we're not. We're email, SMS, MMS, web push, and retargeting. And you can do a lot more beyond email. Okay, so there's a lot of automation that we can cover, but overall, I just wanted to note that this is really the future of marketing is going beyond email. Now, the second thing I want to share before I give you kind of the landscape and where we are as a product, what we want you to do is to own your first-party cookie data. So if you use a product like Vbout, we track so much on your clients and your customers and your leads from pages they visited, purchases they made if you're in e-commerce. Where's the referral source? Is it an ad campaign or something else? So if you think about the full view of your customer, you own that data in Vbout, and then you can use it for better targeting, better automation, and segmentation. Okay, this really sums up what Vbout is at the end of the day. With all the tools that I shared, this is what you're getting on every single lead inside the platform. Okay. Now, in terms of where we are as a product, if you think about the underkills of the world that are affordable but leave a lot to be desired, we are right in the middle. Okay, as a marketing stack. As you go up, you see HubSpot, Marketo. These are very pricey and probably an overkill for many people. And the underkills, maybe EngageBay and a few others, these are good products, but they don't encompass the full marketing stack. Okay, so we are right in the middle, or at least this is our agenda, is to be right there, providing you with the tools that you need to build your campaigns, and at the same time, not spend a mortgage and a car payment every month doing it. Okay,
Makes sense.
So far, so good. Do you want to do questions now, Venki, or should I dive into a couple of case studies?
And just go ahead, Richard. There are not any questions now. And if there are any, we will interact.
Okay, awesome.
There will be questions, so let's just.
I think we have George in the comments answering them anyway. So I'm sure we can request some people to come on the mic later on after you've finished to see if they have any further questions.
Perfect. Thank you, guys. Thank you. It's really hard moving from doing these physical and room in a room where you can engage people, and now it's like sometimes you feel like you need some feedback on these virtual calls. Anyway, so some case studies of how people using us, and I'm taking a group that we work with of agencies. They use Vbout to centralize and verticalize their offering. So, for example, if you're targeting a specific industry like tourism, you can create some sort of a package for the tourism industry that includes your services, and it includes marketing automation, which could be applied on top of Vbout. So this is how Andreas from WSI Next Gen has been using Vbout to upsell his services to clients. Another gentleman called Ryan, he has used Vbout moving from some of the other more complex products. And he organizes his entire marketing stack for his company and for his clients in one place, which helps a lot in efficiency on the marketing team side. John is a new agency as well. They obviously, as a new agency, you are limited on the resources. He is reselling the Vbout platform, but he's also using us for on-demand services for building automations, landing pages, and things like this when he cannot do it himself. So we have a small service arm for agencies and partners who do not have the capacity and the bandwidth to get things implemented. So I want you guys to think about this. And obviously this comes with a fee by request, but we don't only want to give you the platform and the support, but we also want to give you on-demand services. Finally, we have Yadira, who is reselling the platform with lots of margins. So she's creating plans for $25, $50 a month, reselling them at $500, $300. And this is sort of the things that we empower companies to do, is for you to resell Vbout, make back your margins and even more, and start making residuals. An average agency with Vbout is making anywhere between $1,000 to $2,000 a month just on memberships, okay, which is just passive income coming in from upselling licenses. So these are in terms of case studies. And again, guys, if you just joined us, we're doing giveaway. So we have one LTD we're going to give out, and we're going to give access to our course, which is $3,000 lead generation masterclass and $1,000 Vbout agency certification course. All you need to do is join us on Facebook and leave a comment in terms of what are your challenges, or anything really you want to share about marketing automation. All right, Venki, this is what I have so far. If you want, I can take any questions now and even go back into Vbout to answer any, community ideas, thoughts, and so on.
Yeah. Richard would we would like to see a live demo of it. If for a one use case, that would be good.
Sure. Let me just get to my presentation here. Okay. So you want me to give the community a little kind of walkthrough of how it works?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, just take one scenario and say, whatever we could set it up right in the funnel till then, whatever possible in this time.
Perfect. So what I'm going to show you guys is a use case of how we use Vbout ourselves to capture leads, nurture leads, and then retain those leads. Does that sound good?
Sounds good.
Okay. So it always starts with the contact data, where you're putting all your contact records and so on. So in Vbout, we track a lot, as I mentioned. But what we do is we create our lists. For example, we have an in-charge alternative opt-in form. So those who want to find out how Vbout stack up against others, we can create a form, which is a list in Vbout. And that form can house a whole bunch of fields. This is another list, which is an agency comparison chart. I have 25 opt-ins there. If I go to the form builder, I can see I have full name, email, and all these fields customized through the system. Okay. And by the way, our forms are super customizable, whether you're building it from any of these custom fields or using our defaults. And we give you the embed code so you can add it on your own site. Okay. Because we want you to capture leads one way or another. What we also did before we started anything is we created a lead scoring paradigm or lead scoring framework in order for our clients to get scored, or any lead that gets scored when they start engaging with Vbout. So I have 25,000 contacts scored right now. And what the score means in terms of lead scoring is how close or interested they are. Okay. So the higher the score, the more likely they're interested. And this is how our funnel looks like right now, fully automated. 11,000 people on the awareness phase, so they're learning more about the product. 2,000 people on consideration, 2,800. And we have 4,099 people in the decision phase. So when your conversion rates are, let's say 5 to 8%, this gives you a good solid idea how you are overall performing. Okay. And these are people that have scores. You can see their scores here, some of them in retention, and some of them are all the way earlier in the flow. Okay. So I'm starting with the lead architecture, guys, because before you set up any campaign, you always need to have your data properly structured, your fields, and have some sort of a tracking in place. Once I've done that, I go to Vbout Landing Page Builder, which allows you to build landing pages at scale. So let me show you some of the pages that we have already. Okay, this one is an in-charge alternative, which George put together. Let me show you how it looks. And we built this, guys, because a lot of people are asking us. Very simple page. You can see it's a one-pager. There's not much to it. But we had the flexibility to make it look exactly like you're seeing right here. Embedded calendar. All of this is all inside the landing page. I can make copies of pages. I can copy them to my clients' accounts. If you're an agency, right, this is really, really valuable to you. You don't have to recreate the designs. And overall is a simple drag and drop. So there's not much, nothing different that way everybody's used to. Okay. Now, quick disclaimer: we're not going to be, the leads pages of the world where all they do is landing pages. But we've built so much and it's fully integrated that building them is a lot of fun and it's very convenient. So these are my forms. I can make edits here. And I can even personalize pages with people's names if I want to. Okay. Check out this page. Everything is white labeled. So if you want to add your own domain instead of using ours, no problem. And once you launch those pages and people fill in the forms, we can capture them inside the Vbout platform. Okay.
Does it have a segment in there when you can capture them? Do they go to can I have it as a segment so I know like these? Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
So if somebody signs up to a list called, let me just take another one here, in charge alternative, right? I have a form on there somewhere. If somebody signs up, I have 8 conversions. It's adding people to a list called in charge alternative. So you think about a list as an Excel file where it houses all the submissions. So if I want to see who's inside that list, I can click here and I can go there. And similarly with everything else, if I want to go to my agency comparison chart to see how, my 26 submissions, all I have to do is just click here and then Vbout will show me those leads within the system. Okay. So these are the people that submitted information, and you can see our lead scoring right here, which is automatically calculated. All right. Any questions on landing pages? There's a lot more to it, including web push notifications, deep analytics, heat map information. But I would love to see if anyone have questions.
So I'll start actually because I was personally interested in the Vbout. Do you have like I know it does a lot of things, but does it have an option for like a chat bubble or anything like that, or is there something on the roadmap?
We are looking into the chat component because it plays really well with our site pop-ups as well. It's not live yet. It's not built. It's probably we won't be able to get to it this year because we have a lot coming up. But yes, it's a great idea.
Is it something going to be available to the LTD buyers, or is it going to be add-on?
I cannot tell you yet. It depends if we're going to build it from scratch or if we're going to have it as a partner license, sub-license. So it all depends how we do it. If it's going to be sub-licensed through a partner, which will announce it and who's the partner and so on, obviously we have commercial obligations per license. So it has to be an add-on. We'll decide on this, but everything we do in Vbout will be super affordable to you guys and to the rest of our client base as well.
Because I remember I was looking into EngageWay. I think they offer it, right? Chat. I'm pretty sure they do. So can we integrate it with I'm hoping through the API or something, like somebody comes on the chat, like I'm using continually right now, and I can get that lead to Vbout. Is this something that can be done like not using Zapier? Like, do you have any direct integration with any chatbot or chat platforms?
Right now, it's we don't have direct, but between Pabbly, ConnectedZ, and obviously Zapier and our open API, you can program these things easily, right?
Okay.
If you want to go the custom route, we have an API as well.
You do have, okay. The forms you have, are they like condition logic form? Because sometimes, I have multi locations, and what people do, they come in and they do booking for their repairs and stuff. And I want, like, if a person select that location, it goes directly to them, the email. Like, how do you have all that, like, flexibility in the forms?
So you have some drop downs and they say location 1 or location 2, they choose, then they receive a specific email from that location?
Correct.
Yes. It's not built into the form, but you do it through automation. So I'll show you a quick sample here. This is really a lot of our engineering went into automation. So if I'm to create one from scratch, and sorry guys, my screen here is, let me close some of these. And by the way, this is the heat map on landing pages while we're on the other side. So you can see where people are clicking and how they're engaging. I got to close some browsers options. Give me 1 second. Yeah, this is the heat map information for the landing page. And this is the automation. So we have, let's assume you have that form created with the necessary dropdown. I can do joined. So when somebody join a list, meaning filling out a form in Vbout's term, what I can do is I can send an email. If I have 5 different email versions, depending on locations, I can do this, or I can use merge tags to handle that. I decide. And then what I'll do here is I'll add conditions on the arrows. This is what we call our custom filters. And we can say if the answer to that question was A, then do this. If the answer was B, then do that.
I got it. That's good.
Yeah. So you can certainly do that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Another question. Sorry if I'm gonna go because it's I did have a lot of questions before too. The calendar meeting, like I saw one of the landing page had a calendar on it. So how does that work in terms of, can you integrate it with Google Meet or something like that, or external?
Yeah, I mean, the way we have the calendar component, which is licensed through Nihilus as a partner, you see right here, I have a calendar booking. Yeah. And I have a whole bunch of calendars used in Vbout, so I can use one of them. So let's say business consultation and apply. Now it should load inside this frame. Okay, right here.
Nice.
And it's on the landing pages. So your question is how you can use it? Is that what you're asking?
The reason being because a lot of people, we have a lot of agency owners who does meeting, consulting and stuff like that. And this looks like a very good tool in terms of all-in-one, right? And it eliminates some of the plugins too, I can see. So that's why I wanted to know if the calendar meeting feature, like, how would it work? Like, all right?
Yeah, we use it. We use it, and we're moving out of Calendly because we had Calendly in like hundreds of pages. So we're slowly moving out of Calendly. So you can create your calendars. You can customize the look and feel of it in terms of like, what is your buffer period, durations, the location here. You can plug in the link for your own Meet or Zoom. And soon, hopefully, our partner Nihilus is going to have like a more, I think, auto-generated Zoom links and stuff. Mm-hmm. You can do round robins if you want, just like you see here, if you have multiple salespeople. So it's very nice, very customizable, and it looks solid. If you want to go and use this, or if you want to embed it on the page like I showed you before.
Yeah. Another question is when somebody, like if I have a pop-up or sign up option on my website, and a lot of people sometimes they use like fake email address and stuff like. Does it get verified? Is there a system in the back end?
I mean, the verification right now is we have a couple of layers. One, obviously the format. If you used an email and you had a typo or you used a character not supported, that's one validation. The second validation, we have our own global database of bounces. And if we matches that global database of bounces, that means emails that do not exist, we're gonna suppress that option. We do not have an email verification yet that probably integrates or looks like zero bounce or never bounce is what you may be referring to, right?
Yeah, I think I was using TrueMail or something. It's it's a good. They are good tools, but sometimes they are very hard to configure with your mail system or MailChimp or any other, because then you have another tool that you have to import the whole email list to verify, and it just I haven't seen anything like that's automatic, right? Because I see on the corporate websites, the big like Walmarts and bigger
Yes.
players, where you can, if you put a wrong email address, it will tell you it's a wrong email, verifies it right away. So it's something that I was looking into it too. That if there's a tool that can actually handles this rather than me using external tool, it's just a lot of work, a lot of manual work, right?
Right. Yeah, we're looking into adding a built-in verification function. We have a sprint open, but it's not being worked on yet because the commercial. See, the problem with the tools available right now is they either ping the domain and then they build their own internal database, or they use third party like SendGrid, which has billions of records, or SparkPost, or some of these, and they know, because obviously SendGrid, they handle billions of emails a year. They know bad emails from good emails. But the problem with these more accurate solutions like SendGrid and SparkPost is their email validation is super expensive at scale because you need to pay every record you verify, right? Like 0.001 cent. So we're going to probably implement them on our forms in the future. And that's one thing on our roadmap. I don't know if we're going to be able to get it done this year, but it is going to be a feature in the future.
Because if you have that, it will definitely help the bounce rate and keep the list clean.
Sure.
And if I have lots of questions, if you want, I can keep going.
Yeah, no, please. I mean, this is what that's supposed to be, right? And
how about in terms of are you using like shared IP for sending those emails? Like, how does it work? Like in terms of because a lot of like I remember when InCharge came, and that was one of the concern that they were locking people's account because there were so many like bounce emails, right? So if you get a lot of spam emails and stuff like that, they will just block you. Do you have anything in terms of like, what kind of technology are you using? How are you tracking that?
We have our own internal protocols for this. So we have different IP pools over different vendors, and these IP are warmed up. I think we have over 55 or something IPs. And we do rotations. So we have IPs on standby, and we have IPs that are actively working. And if an IP took a hit, every day we have an IP that gets listed somewhere. Some of these listings are not really don't make too much impact, and they get delisted. And some of them are important. And either way, we work on delisting as fast as we can. We remove these IPs and we put a clean one in place. So we have a nice protocol in place that runs daily manual work with some automated. And in terms of locking accounts, we usually don't lock accounts. We talk to the client, unless the client is running illegal stuff like reset your PayPal password kind of email. Yeah. We lock these guys immediately, and we probably shut down about 5 to 10 accounts per day of people trying to spoof, run phishing landing pages where they create a landing page looking like an Apple reset password page. It's crazy what's out there, and this is why we monitor.
That's true.
Yeah.
So that's actually good to know. And what kind of like servers are you using in terms of for the email? Like, is it like Amazon or like what kind of technology behind it? Like, in terms of like if somebody signs up, how soon they will get the email? Is it like,
Sorry, just let me remove this. So in terms of the email, we use our partners SparkPost, SendGrid. Amazon is very bad when it comes to sending out emails, and I know people might be opposed to it because they like the cost and is more affordable.
Yeah.
But they give you very bad infrastructure to manage bounce rates and all of these things, escalations, granularity of accounts. So let's say you're an agency and you have 20 accounts under you, and one of them is getting blocked. The last thing you want is to get your entire agency blocked, right? And we've built it with those partners like SendGrid and SparkPost in a way where you don't get blocked on the agency level, that one account might get blocked. So when we say blocked is we get a warning saying this account has extremely high bounce rates or they're sending spam. So we reach out to the client and we say, hey, you know, what's going on? You need to do something about this kind of conversation. So we use SparkPost primarily right now, SendGrid as well as a secondary partner, and have a few people running on Amazon just because that's what they want with their own SMTPs. But I'm not a fan of the Amazon SES personally.
Another question, like you mentioned that when something like this, you have about 50 or 55 IP address and you rotate them, right? So if I'm sending an email and let's say my emails usually go in inbox, is it going to hurt, like, you know, because you guys keep rotating it? So is it going to start going in a spam folder or promotion folder? That's something that's because everybody wants their email to go in the inbox for some reason. Even the promotion emails, people want it. Why not go in the inbox, right? So that's how do you handle that? Like,
yeah. So in terms of IP, we don't do what we call IP snowshoeing, like rotating IPs on the go, right? That doesn't happen. We usually rotated only if required because they were blacklisted, and so it doesn't happen as often. Okay, usually we get scared, or the ASPs don't like it when the sender is rotating IPs on the go because it gets blacklisted within a very short period of time. So for us to guarantee you're going to land in the inbox, nobody can do that. If you get me the founders of Google and they tell you, yes, you're going to land in the inbox, I'll tell you they're probably lying to you. But what we can do is create a proper email, I would say, etiquette to your company, procedures that will work well. And we have a lot of materials on this, including presentations. So one, what are you doing with those that are not opening your emails? Are you always blasting them? That 80% that's not opening, and I'm just doing 80 because most companies gravitate around 20% open rates. If you have 80% of your clients not opening, maybe you should put them in their own bucket and send them less frequently. So, and you create a reactivation campaign or sunset policies. Because this is the age of engagement, email engagement. If you're constantly blasting people not opening, Gmail's not going to like it. You're going to get hurt. Everybody else and your lists are going to get a hit as well. So going to spam is one issue. Going to promotion is a completely different issue. And don't forget, people like me, I have my own filters. When I see preferences unsubscribe on the footer, I put them in my own tag in my own folder, and then I get back to them later on. So people are doing certain things in a different way these days. Now, this is a long-winded answer because it's an important question. What we recommend doing is being more open to conversations with customers when using emails. For example, when they sign up to your lists, you can send them, you can put in a message on the form saying, hey, check your email to get access to the material. Don't redirect them directly to the PDF or the offer, right? Make them physically open emails, because when they do that, that clocks in good reputation for you as a sender. A lot of companies, they build a form, you fill it in, they redirect you to the prize or the PDF. My recommendation is tell them, hey, check your inbox, we sent you the link to it, so they could physically open. These are small changes, guys, and small efforts you put in that eventually will help you get the best open rates. Okay.
I have one question I just forgot. I didn't write it down.
Guys, please.
I didn't write it down. I actually I saw one of your event that I participated on Albert event, right? And I was trying to get to see the page, the email builder, because I've been using another platform, and if it's and I've been having a lot of issue with the builder. Like it just doesn't
Our email
work.
builder?
Like, pardon me? It's an email builder, right? So when you want to, because sometimes the problem was like when I was building it, there's a desktop view and there's a mobile view, right? And somehow desktop looks okay, then the mobile view doesn't look good, and the mobile view looks good, and the desktop view. So I was like struggling with that. So I wanted to just have a quick like feel out of it, like how does it look like.
Okay, so the struggles you've had, was it on Vbout, or are you talking about another platform?
Another platform that I had issues. Okay. So because I invested heavily on that platform, and it's I don't send out any emails just because I hate the builder. I even actually paid them to train my staff to use the platform, and we could not use it. Like the only good thing about that platform is I managed to get it connected with my cloud POS system, point of sale system. And both founders, like what I'm using as a POS, they managed to do the integration. So every time I get a customer in store, they provide us the email. That email gets synced to the platform automatically. I love that. So because I'm getting all those leads, right? And it's all for multi-location. They have their own segments. So this is the workflow that I like. Even though I don't send the email out, but I'm collecting those emails, which are more valuable to retarget them whenever I want.
Got it. Yeah, I totally understand. I mean, you need email building to be easy. And the good news is that we launched our new email builder yesterday in a beta environment. Let me see if I can get to it real quick. So if you go to the design, you're going to see try our new email builder. Do you want me to show you the new one or the existing legacy one?
I think the new one would be better. And trust me, I won't judge you. I'm pretty sure your email will be much better. If it wasn't, then I'll be hearing it from all the community members.
The existing one is already amazing in my opinion because I'm advanced. I like access to HTML.
Yeah.
This one is a lot more theme oriented, so you can create different themes if you have multiple clients and that type of stuff. So it's a lot more streamlined. I'm sorry, guys. This is an environment that I'm in right now. I don't know if I should shut off my camera to speed things up, or maybe I can.
Even if you want to use the old email builder is fine, whichever is.
All right, let's see. And by the way, Venki, I have some comparison charts here for those who want to see how we stack up against some of these guys on the market, differences in pricing and so on. Okay. It doesn't really apply to the community because as an LTD, you're not getting the monthly cost. But it just gives you a good idea about what's going on. George, if you don't mind putting some of these links in the chat so people can compare apples and apples as well. How are we doing with the chat? Are people actually viewing?
Yeah, George has been answering all the questions.
George is on it, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. We have some questions actually that I was waiting for maybe Richard to finish.
Yeah, we kind of made a note of them here, so when Richard's done
Yeah.
showcasing this new email, we can ask those questions.
I'm sorry, guys. Always things go sour on a demo, as usual. But it's very resource intensive.
We are so used to it.
No, it's usually when we do events. Sometimes these things happen because of the bandwidth we are using to stream,
Yeah.
and like I can hear my MacBook fan is like just spinning like crazy. So
Yeah, it seems like this is taken up. Wow, look, 4,000 gigs, 4 gigs of memory. Okay, I think the program we're using is quite taxing. The Run the World program.
my fan is going on like it's ready to launch. Okay, so there's a option alternate mail
I'm
chip.
sorry, guys. This is just. I
No
need to.
worries. We can talk about. I think there's another option that you guys, a lot of people liking. It's about social media, something to connect with all your social medias.
Yes.
So if
Let
you
me see
just
if I
want to
can.
go quick over.
So we built a social suite because we know companies need to run their own marketing on different channels, and social is important. Although some are skeptical about the power of running Facebook posts and stuff like that, actually it makes an impact because most people are search you on your social media beside your website. So what we allow you to do is to publish through our social media suite and to do some social listening through our social media suite. So all of these capabilities are open, and I'm just trying to load it, guys. I'm just afraid my computer is going to freeze on me here. So this is my calendar, for example, of all the scheduled posts that you see. And George's does a good job on pushing these things to different channels. But we let you connect to Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Pinterest, and Instagram. So you can create your posts, attach your media, and schedule your events. So this replaces like a Hootsuite or Buffer in the term of like native posts.
That's a lot of things you guys doing.
It's a marketing stack. Yes, it is 7 years in the making, so it's not a product from yesterday.
Yeah.
Some people say it's a lot and you guys are doing too many things. I understand, but if your goal is just to build a landing page, or maybe your goal is just to send out a one-time off email, maybe we're not the right fit for you. We are a good fit for companies that need to build the whole stack to capture, nurture, and retain clients.
This is good. Actually, like it because it's. I think sometimes it's easier just if you. I know some people say it's not a good thing to have everything in one. Because it might not work as good. But I think if you can do posting and if for a small business or even medium sized business, this could be very useful because then you can see all the engagement even from social media to your Vbout, right?
Yes. Remember the screen I showed you guys earlier?
Yeah.
This is what we allow you to. You can see if the lead came from a Facebook campaign and even down to the ad set if you like. So all of this is all supported. And this is the entire activity timeline. So if you want to be able to see if, Sean came in from Facebook, Sean clicked on your pricing page, he joined one of your opt-in forms or pop-ups, he made a purchase on your e-commerce site. I mean, you need a consolidated platform. Otherwise, you're going to be patching things together through, Zapier or Pabbly, and this is not going to be accurate. So you're going to have data leaks all over the place.
So you're saying I can track from the Facebook user up to his journey if he bought it or he end up buying it, I can track that journey, right?
You can track it with, if you use UTM tagging through your Facebook, which if you're running a Facebook ad, you have to be using UTM tagging, right? That's like not even an option of not using it. So, it's in terms of tracking it from the beginning to end, yes, you can.
Nice.
This is actually really, really powerful if used correctly. Like, if you know and understand your customer's journey, then you know what they want next. And if you can push what they want next in front of them, because you know how they've acted throughout the journey, then the conversion rate is most likely to be a lot higher. And it also helps build those relationships with brands, because the customer at the end point feels that this brand understands me, knows what I want, and they kind of build an affinity. So yeah, this
100%.
stuff is really powerful. Yeah.
How about understanding the client? I'm with you on that.
Yeah. So we've got some questions on the side.
Sure.
Venki, do you want to go through them?
Yeah, sure.
Go ahead, Venki.
Okay, I'll start with one question that is there on the Facebook group. Is there a NextWeave integration that is on plan?
NextWeave,
NextWeave,
right? Yeah, we are in touch with them in terms of the NextWeave community, and this is actually right here is communication we had in the Vbout integration with NextWeave. But it's not fully integrated in Vbout yet because we are working on it. But answer your question, it is on the roadmap.
Yeah, the NextWeave team are great as well, man. Shout out to them. They're great. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, do you have another question?
Yeah.
Guys, excuse me. Excuse me for interrupting. Richard, I will be sharing with everyone the links to the course with either both codes, access codes to the course. Okay.
Okay.
Very nice.
Okay. I do not know if you've already answered, I believe so, but then Steve has asked, can we use an alternate landing page builder if we want or need and send the data to Vbout?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that part, guys.
Can we use an alternate landing page builder if we want and send the data to Vbout?
Yes, absolutely. We give you the forms so you can embed forms on your site, on your landing page of choice, or you can use other methods if you want to do like a JavaScript listener, API calls, or Badly Connect.
Okay, fantastic. George is already answered. So otherwise, there are some good feedback about being very confused, and now they are very clear about where to start the marketing, right from novices to experts. Steve has asked one more question where he said, can the calendar sync with Google Calendar?
At the social media posting calendar, what syncs is the calendar booking component. So when people are booking you, yes, it connects with Google Calendar, and you will see those bookings on your calendar side.
Feels good.
And it's a two-way sync.
It's a two-way. In what terms? No, it's not a two-way sync. It's just when people sign up on our calendar event booking, it goes to your Google, but it doesn't bring events from Google back to us. No.
Okay, so and Chaitanya has asked, can we check spam score for email campaign before sending out the emails to avoid landing emails in spam?
Yes, we do have a spam score utility, and we are adding a new spam score or health check on subject lines. It is only for benchmarking, guys. I don't like to rely on one tool when delivering emails because it's a combination of things from IP reputation, domain reputation, and so on. But we do have a tool built into Vbout to do spam check.
Okay, fantastic. So what is lead scoring based on? So I think...
Yeah, that's a great question. We have a lead scoring framework, which we share with you during our daily training. We have 2 training sessions a day. But you can set up your own scoring based on things like if somebody clicks on the link, visits a page, makes a purchase, joins the list. So you configure these, and I think we have about 40 different actions and activities that you can score against.
Fantastic. Okay. So any LinkedIn automation or lead generation options to be included?
With lead generation options to be included. Sorry, I don't know why your voice...
For LinkedIn, would there be any LinkedIn automation or lead generation options that would be included in Vbout?
LinkedIn lead generation options, you mean in terms of like scouting LinkedIn and doing an outbound outreach and messaging? No, LinkedIn sucked on their API until recently they're starting to get a little bit better at it. We don't have that right now in Vbout.
Okay. So what are the upcoming features on your roadmap? Yes, there's a link of roadmap that is given, but if there is one or two, exciting things that we can look forward.
Yeah, obviously the email builder, very exciting.
Okay.
We have folders.
Predictive. Yeah. Predictive analytics. Predictive.
Yeah. Well, we have just to tell you the immediate ones, not the ones that are coming the end of year or next year. So we have the new email builder. We do have folders, so you can create folders and group things together.
Okay.
We have integration and Integrately, I believe, or Integromat. I'm sorry, I confused both products. We have a new Shopify version coming up, Shopify integration, because that's huge. So we've enhanced it. And we have a whole bunch of tickets on small optimizations as well, from things like adding a trigger on automation when a value change on the field, or making tasks a little bit more integrated with automation. So when you change the stage, you can fire it on automation. So we have some small things. I can't list them because I have probably over 100 active sprints right now. But in terms of the big launches, the email automation, the email builder, and the integrations with the folders as well. This is probably immediate.
I think I know the answer, but then still, can an agency create funnel packs, niche, and sell these packs templates as part of the white label membership for extra dollars?
Yeah, you can. If you'd like to create, people think about funnels. I don't want to take ClickFunnels as an example, but the way we can build funnels, we can create groups in Vbout. We call them campaign groups. You think about campaign groups as a folder inside of which you put like 5 landing pages, 3 email automations, and maybe some forms and other assets. And then you can take this entire group and copy it to your client's account or replicate them as your client's account. So if you take the approach that we have as campaign groups and you call them funnel packs, then that's what it is. Okay.
Fantastic. So can we import email templates built on Stripo email builder to Vbout? Stripo is email.
Stripo is AMP. Honestly, I haven't tried it. They support AMP. We have to probably try it by taking custom HTML on Vbout and just copy pasting the code. I cannot speak yet to this because I've never personally tested it.
Okay. So does Vbout have a custom email signature generator as well?
Custom what?
Custom email signature generator. No. Okay. Does it have a timer element in email builder?
Have a timer in the email builder? Yes, we have a timer countdown which counts back.
Yeah. Okay, it's there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, how much of the front-facing communication is non-English friendly?
How much is not English friendly? We have clients from pretty much everywhere, and this just brings me joy to see people from Japan, people from the Middle East and Arabic, and even from Israel with Hebrew. I mean, we have really languages all across the board. If you're talking about like the email communications, the front-facing landing pages, you can code them in your language. And if you have an issue, you speak to us, we look at the encoding.
Okay, fair enough. So
I got one more question.
Books, can we send them automated email if they don't open and sending email for unopened one too? I think they're talking about automation. One email for the ones who are opened, and probably if they're not opened, there's another email. I think it's
When you do those arrows I showed earlier, you click on the arrows and you can configure your rules.
Okay. Can white label agencies use the promo videos you guys use on the Vbout website?
Can the white label agency, and I'm really sorry, my
see?
friend, I'm having a hard time.
Okay. Can white label agencies use the promo videos you guys use on the Vbout website?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We give you whatever tools you need. We have a section on our agency side, maybe I can show you, where we put resources. And if you want to request additional resources, we're happy to provide them to you. Let me show you right now. This is an agency portal. We have a resources tab. If you don't see it on your account, let us know. But you can see right here, there are a lot of resources you can download, presentations. Some of them are logos and stuff. We repurpose them however you see fit. Okay.
Okay. I think those are the questions that are there.
Okay.
I think there are no more questions.
I have one more question.
Sure.
Yeah.
Are you planning to implement any AI technology in Vbout? I don't know how it's going to work, but it's something hot right now.
Yeah. So first, we are launching on the subject line our own real-time machine learning and suggestion tool. That's going to be launched soon, guys. I forgot to mention it.
Wow.
We also are going to be building a model on leads and the likeliness of the lead closing. So we're going to study your signals and then based on that, tell you this lead requires attention. And we might be able to also integrate some custom messaging within emails to change according to user. But this is my ideal scenario for AI and machine learning. Probably this feature by end of next year, I believe, could be possible because it's heavy engineering.
Yeah, it's really getting like popular, right? AI, you know. So I'm just trying to think like how this technology can help Vbout to scale it quicker, right? Because this is something I think was it InVideo or which one was it that they also introduced the AI? You can talk to it and it will make a video for you.
Yeah, well, in the world of marketing, when it's a one-to-one, it's still a challenge, right? Because if it's very specific, AI is good when it's very specific task. But when you're targeting different clients and different personas, it might be a little bit challenging to apply AI at that scale.
I think it could be good for the when you send out an email or when you prepare the email, like, it can generate like a nice, I think, I don't know, smart writer, I think, Omar, if I'm correct, it writes you a nice email and stuff, right? So that's something it's related to you because that's what you guys do, email marketing, all in one, obviously. So, and I think you can get a open API access within a month, I think now. So,
okay. So that's all the questions. In fact, for those people who will be watching it later, a recorded version, the link for the Vbout Facebook group is given in the comments. Please feel free to join. And if there are any other questions, please feel free to comment under this video. And I'm sure that George and Richard will take time and answer them in the next couple of days. So please feel free to put those questions under the video while you watch it, or probably in the Vbout Facebook group. While we all think that email marketing is something of the past, and on the day when Intuit is negotiating, or probably they have already bought MailChimp for $10 billion. It's great to have Richard and George address us in the group talking about the features of Vbout. I think in the last session itself, I got sold and I went ahead and bought it, and I wanted to bring Richard to the group as well. So
Thank you, Venkatesh.
Worthwhile spending that time with you guys, understanding Vbout. And I'm new to email marketing, but you guys have created that interest, and I wanted to kickstart the whole thing using Vbout. And from a novice, probably let me see how I'm growing with Vbout. So thank you so much for the time, and thank you people for listening to us. Closing comments from Richard, and then Sam.
Sure. First of all, thanks, Venki, again, for the opportunity. Thanks everyone who joined, and thanks for everyone who invested in Vbout. We are working hard on listening to every single feedback. I personally respond to every single comment, feedback that comes through, because I want you guys to understand that we are paying attention. This is the brand awareness for us, which is not just, hey, I want to generate leads. Right? We're not trying to nickel and dime you guys, and we're giving you a full stack. We want that community awareness. We want that brand awareness. So thank everybody who invested. We are here to listen for your feedback. And we are working at, I would say, full engine to be able to push things based on priorities. So that's one. Two, those who left a comment, we will send you the winner. We randomly pick it like we did last time with another event. And we'll send it over to you, Venki, and you can announce it to the community. Sure. And the access to the course, it will be given to everybody who attended. So anybody who was here with us today is going to win the lead generation course. We usually don't give it away, or we sell it for $3,000. So we're going to give it to you guys. Even if you don't have a Vbout account, that's not an issue. And yeah, other than that, thanks everyone. I'm really grateful for being part of your community.
Thank you so much. In fact, I wanted to close this with one comment from Rituraj. In fact, that's a very nice comment. You should hear. Where did I miss it? I just had it. 7 years is not Richard. Wow, I can see the hard work you guys have put in building this marketing Swiss knife. It is a one-stop marketing automation solution for sure. I think this kind of summarizes what we all think about Vbout. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Richard. Thank you, Rituraj, and thanks everyone again.
Yeah, bye.
Thank you, Richard.
Thank you, Richard.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye, guys.